We are going to talk about telemetry, the dangerous word that Linux users don't like to talk about. And I have become somewhat a telemetry enjoyer because we are implementing it at work. For a lot of the same reasons why Microsoft is implementing it, Adobe, almost any software have telemetry. But before we go into why you are the reason we have telemetry, and it's your fault we have telemetry, comment, like, subscribe, go onto my Discord, and just don't think you know it all in there and you will have a good time. Anyway, everyone loves a good old AI, so I prompted Gemini here, telemetry in software, and it refers to automatic collection of transmissions of data about users' performance and health of our application, blah blah blah. You kind of get that. That should be common knowledge that it's a data collection of software. What kind is collected? Matrix, events, logs, traces, digital records of the journey of a request as it travels through different components. So let's say I am requesting a communication protocol from YouTube or something like that, and you chase those packages and stuff like that. How does it work? Instruments, I can't speak. This word here. Data transmission, data processing, stores, and listing and virtualizations. Again, I'm not going to go deep into this because most of you guys will go over your head, and you might as well just pause the video and read it if you want to. Benefits. This is where it comes in. Performance monitoring. Real-time visibility into application performance helps identify bottlenecks and areas of optimization. You probably want that. Error detection and diagnostic. Main reason why it actually became a thing back in the day. Early detection of errors and crashes along with contextualized information, speed up debugging and resolutions. You want to see if something is happening, and if something is happening, you want it fixed as fast as possible. And because most people are really bad at actually telling what's wrong, logs don't lie. Database information don't lie. Usage insight. Understanding how you interact with the software helps in prioritizing feature development, improving over the user experience. You want this, you like this, and you are really bad at saying or giving feedback. Proactive issue detection, informed decision making, enhanced security. You want this. And here, what's the difference between analytics and telemetry? The overall arc is analytics is that you're analyzing the data, basically. So why am I saying that you are the fault of this, or you want this? Well, I was a wee little lad when we didn't have that much telemetry, when the internet kind of came around and become a thing for at least the broad masses. Back in the day, when I was a wee little lad, we had black and white TV. You could slap a woman on the ass and you were a man. Nowadays, you're getting locked up in jail. You know, the good old days, as some boys will say, and the not so good old days, some women will agreeable say that it was not a good time back then. But you get what I'm coming. I'm joking, of course. I'm making fun of it. Don't slap women in the ass. Nobody should have done that ever in the fucking lifespan of humanity. In the olden days, where we were a little bit more barbaric. When something happened with a piece of software, boom, you will get a pop-up message that will say, you had a crash. Can you please explain to me what happened? And if they were somewhat competent, they would also ask, can we take a core dump? Can we take a memory dump? And then send it to this email. It was not automatically sent to them. You have to send, the output file or zip file they made to an email. How many people do you think did that? How many IT literate people do you think did that? Almost nobody. You that regard yourself as an IT expert that sits at home and are terminally online and think you're the God's genius of IT and computer literacy, how often do you sit down and type in a lengthy bug report of what you're doing, screenshots and core dump and memory dump and all that fucking shit and send that to the developers? I know a lot of smart people and almost basically no one do that because it's inconvenient as fuck. What they do, restart the program and hope it don't happen again. I go and bitch and moan to their friends and family about a piece of shit the software is, but they still use it every day. You don't tell us when something is wrong. we have to come to you and like, do you have any problems with the software? And then you may start a bit, or we have to have the air into the water cooler, and we go up there and we take like a sip of water while listening to, what do you guys think about the new update to the software we made? And you get basically castrated, and you get like fucking nipple cramps on your nipples, and they spank you and fist you without any lube. And you're like, I didn't know it was that bad. Oh, it's been like that for months. I'm like, why don't you say anything? We just deal with it. That's the problem. Most people just deal with it. So for a software developer in general, or a system integrator and stuff, like to actually help you get a better system, or help you have a better experience, because you are so bad at coming and giving information, they need this. You want this. You don't want a world without telemetry, because a lot of bugs, security issues, UI issues would never be fixed, because they are not big enough that they're being caught by the masses. And because nobody really say anything, they just find their own workarounds, they will be there for years. Again, that's something I remember from back in the wee lad days when playing outside was all about running around and throwing crash at each other and pushing your friends down a rolling crash field and stuff like that, or soapbox cars pushing each other around. That was what they had to do back then. So you want this. But like anything on Earth, everything can be exploited, okay? Everything can be exploited. And yes, there are places, companies, call it what you will, that will misuse telemetry to use it as a way of, let's say, see how many installs we have. Some distributions make us do this. Telemetry is being used to, you can kind of say it's good or bad under debit. You can opt in to a popularity contest where if a piece of software is in their repo and it's not being downloaded or used that as much, they will remove it. And if you're one of those 1% that use that fucking software, you're shit out of luck. So I will deem that to be somewhat of a bad thing. That's why I never opt into it when I install Deb, and always leave that out, because why not just keep it in there? I think like Linus said something that if one person uses a piece of hardware, he will support it in the kernel. Why don't have the same mentality with software? I get it, maintaining it, packaging it, and all that fucking shit takes time and money and resources. I get it. Don't yell at me in the comment section. But you are benefiting so much for telemetry that it's not even funny. Like I said, we are starting to implement it more and more at work, and I kind of egotistical kind of think that I had something a little bit to do with pushing it a little bit more than they did in the beginning. Because I was tired of going and talk to people just to figure out if some developer would have a problem. I would be like, we can sit here and spitball for months about what the problem is. Let me go and chit-chat with some people that actually work with it. And I would not go up and say, oh, I heard there's a problem. I'm just like, hey, how are you today, So, have you ever had this problem? Bait them in to talk about it. Or have you seen anyone being a little bit disenfranchised or not liking something that happened with this software? And they will open up, and because they don't feel attacked, they don't feel like they're questioning, you're just having a normal conversation. Like, hey, we're thinking about doing this kind of thing, and how do you feel about, let's say, the UI or the layout or the X, Y, and Z? And they will open up a little bit, because again, you're not, what's wrong? Here, there's a problem. Explain to me exactly what you did and how many cats you swinged over the computer before it happened and stuff. Let's bait your way into it. Use a little bit of social engineering to get the information, so to speak. So I will do that a lot. And again, I'm not a brilliant person, but me, as we can see over here, hundreds of other people notice that instead of us going and talk to them, because a lot of people, especially people that, well, the worst people to talk about tech with are people that think they know about tech. So the people that don't know jack shit and are open or are front with knowing jack shit are super easy to talk to, because I have no fucking idea what's going on. I turned around, I farted, and now I'm seeing fucking weird ass shit going on in the program. I have no idea. I clicked this button and now it's asking me for my PIN code for my credit card. I have no fucking idea what's happened. The thing is, if people that, oh yeah, I clicked this button, and I think it's because of an API call in the back end, and they start to go with you on a down like a rabbit hole that you should not go down, and you're like, oh, they sound like they know what they're talking about, so you start to like engage or not engage, but entertain the idea with them, and 9 out of 10 times they are in Greenland and the problem is in the South Pole, basically. They are so wrong, they're not even adjacently close to be right about what the problem is, but you entertain it because, oh, this person sound like they know what they're talking about. Which is another thing I feel a lot of IT and software developers need to be better at recognizing that most people that sounds like they know what they're talking about don't know what they're talking about. But they would go like, like I think it's this API call, or it must be like a race condition or something like that. Like, oh, a little bit, I code a little bit about Python at home to make a calculator. They know just enough that they sound smart, which is the worst people to talk to. So you spend or waste hours talking to these people, where if you just go on a log and you can say, oh, Monday, 1300 hours. A person clicked this button with this information in the field. It gave us let's just say, a buffer overflow, or it gave us a race condition. It gave us a memory leak. We can see all of that with this. We don't even have to talk to you. And then next time there's an update, that will be fixed. You didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to be questioned. We don't have to run and ask you and probe you with our fingers and our minds and be a nuisance to your workflow. Just get fixed. So the harsh reality, the harsh reality is that either people would just be upfront with that they know jack shit about computers, or the smart people that think they know about computers would actually learn about computers and learn how to give information about what they know, which is a totally different thing. Again, this is why, like, when you talk to a developer and they're giving you information about the program because they know what they're talking about, you get clear, condensed, to the point information. If you talk to someone that is a hobbyist, it's like saying, like, I changed the tire on a car and now I can explain to you how a combustion engine works and how the wiring system works in a fucking Lamborghini, or how a supercharger works in the latest fucking McLaren and stuff like that. It's not just in IT. This is a problem where the perceived knowledge of one's abilities massively is overrated by the person themselves, and it does. Like, I dealt with this as a mechanic so much, where people, like I said, they know how to change a light bulb or tires, and they will sit and talk about the fucking ignition systems and the triggers in it and the coils in it, and because they know the words, but they don't know what they do. They just know that they are part of the thing. Go on to any of my videos where we talk a little bit about tech. Go into the comment section and you see the same people giving fucking rabbit hole advice to people that makes no fucking sense. I know exactly what it is, and then they make a paragraph basically saying nothing. That's why we need telemetry. That's why you want telemetry. As much as you say you don't, what you don't want is the people that misuse it, which is amazing. We can all agree on that. I don't think anyone on earth, whatever fucking systems they are using or whatever company they work for, like people to misuse telemetry. It can be done, and it is being done. But you don't dislike telemetry. You need it. You want it. You dislike the people that misuse it. And we have to make a distinction between the human side of this tech world and the technical side. Because telemetry only do what the human tells us to do, what the managers and CEOs or bosses, or call it what you will, are telling the code monkey in his dank office to do, code this into the program. That's the only time that will happen. It's not like you go home overnight and then you come Monday morning after a long weekend with the girls and the boys, and there's this magic fucking code in the program that just disappeared overnight that is going to misuse telemetry. It's not like, you don't see these Jedis, you don't see this code. Now it's there. That's not how it works, okay? Someone make the decision to tell someone to put it in there. So blame the humans, don't blame the technology, don't blame the software. You don't put a fucking car in jail for drunk driving. It's not the car that's drunk, it's the fucking human. It never made sense to me to... They know that, proprietary software is bad. No, it's only bad because a lot of bad people use proprietary software to do bad things. If I proprietary a calculator tomorrow, it will not just overnight be like telemetry gathering, data collection, at implementation, I have to put that into the program if it's open source or proprietary or not. So yeah, there's just a lot of misconceptions about telemetry and a lot of other things. And don't be afraid of telemetry, but of course be aware of it. It's always good to be an informed user. But be a scared user is where it goes a little bit overboard, because we're living in a world right now where everything is telemetry. You can't get around it. This is software telemetry, telemetry in software. When you go to the doctors and need to take a cardiogram or what it's called, that's telemetry. That's your body telemetry, so to speak. When you go to the shops, your local shop, and you're buying a lot of stuff there, you become part of the telemetry of the customers in that shop, so they know when to stock you, for example, Christmas decorations. That's telemetry knowing, and also common sense, but telemetry shows them how much to buy next year Christmas, so they don't overstock or understock and stuff like that. That's telemetry in consumer transactions or in shop owning and stuff like that. Telemetry goes in everything, ever since there's been basically communication or trading or exchanging of anything between two humans. There will be some part of telemetry. Us right now is part of telemetry. We are talking, you're watching it, you become part of the statistics of this video that is telemetry to tell me, should I do more of this or less of this? And the comment section becomes part of the telemetry to see how do the people react to it. So I'm taking the data from the comment section and the viewers and the likes and dislikes, and I'm going down and analyzing it to see how to approach or what to do later on. Is it bad telemetry? No, but it is telemetry. It's just engagement telemetry. It's not in the software, but you're still being monitored. Anyway, hope this was interesting. See you all later. You like telemetry. Bye-bye.